What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a brand new video. Now today you join me inside the new Suzuki Grand Vitara and we're going to be doing a review on it. Big thanks to BB Group Suzuki, which is the local Suzuki dealership out here in Zanin. Now I'll leave their details down in the description below. If you're looking for any new Suzuki model and you live around here, do check them out. Now I really do hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's get right into it. Okay, so the new Grand Vitara. Now this is a crossover or compact SUV, and I have to say the exterior looks are really stunning. The car looks really imposing and I do like the design of it. You have so many different design elements that help contrast the vehicle. Like, I really do like the slim headlights, which are integrated daytime running lights. These bits right here, these are actually DRLs. The main light unit is actually down here, so they break it up apart. I do quite like this two-piece grille. You have the upper section and this middle section, and the chrome surrounding it looks really nice. The Suzuki badge sits really nice and prominent. There's also a silver contrasting plastic bit down here. Overall, the design is quite nice. Now it's boxy and angular at the same time. I do like the design elements they've gone with right here. Great looking car. Now coming around to the side, all cars come with 17-inch wheels, but on the GLX and GLX hybrid you get machine polished wheels, whereas on the lower base GL they're just painted alloys, which is still nice. They still do look nice. You have these black plastic bits which help make the car look tough and rugged. I do love this shoulder line which sits very proud and strong. It does give the car some stance. I do like the side profile as well. It's squared off, it's boxy, it looks very tough and rugged and really nice. This shark fin for the radio antenna also looks really cool, and it's just neat. Coming round to the back, you have a full width tail light bar, which for me personally, I always like a car with a full width tail light bar. It always looks nice. But on top of that, this is actually a 3D light, so it's quite textured, and at night when it's lit up it looks really cool. So you have Grand Vitara model designation in the middle, Suzuki badge right there, all grip hybrid, which we'll get into in a bit later in the video. You also get the silver contrasting bit on the lower section of the bumper, and you have the turning signals integrated right here along with fog lights, which looks really neat. I do quite like the look of this car. Let's check out the interior. Okay, so the interior of the Grand Vitara. So one thing you notice jumping in here is that the materials used, you can tell that there's a lot of cost cutting. So I don't want to say they are low quality materials, but you can tell that they are not of the highest quality. Like the type of leather used, I've noticed the material used on the headliner, so that's how you're able to get the really affordable price on this car. But one thing you can't fault it is the amount of equipment it comes with. Now on the GLXs you get a 9-inch infotainment display. I'll actually put on the car so that we can run through some of the features and stuff. So on the lower base GL, it's actually a 7-inch display. Now this comes with wireless Apple CarPlay, but Android Auto is actually wired. No idea why they choose to go that route with Android Auto, but there's stuff like a 360 surround camera, there's a heads-up display, there's obviously a reverse camera. Phone is connected. Okay, someone's phone was still connected, but onwards we go. So where was I? Reverse camera. There's also a whole host of safety features, and there's a lot of features on offer. So another thing I've noted about this car is this has the widest opening sunroof I've ever seen, literally in any car. Like, it's literally a convertible. It's no longer a sunroof. This is literally a convertible. Like, it goes so far back, it's literally unbelievable. Now, it gives a really nice airy feeling, like you can literally get tons of fresh air in here, get cruising, get relaxed, and yeah, it's quite nice. Now, if I run through the infotainment screen, now I doubt many people will use the inbuilt system. Most people will just plug in their phone, use the app connectivity, which is Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. But the system itself, it's actually quite decent. The response is really decent. It's quite the resolution is also relatively high, and yeah, it's easily navigatable. It doesn't have a lot of menus or a lot going on. It's easy to navigate around. So yeah, it's quite a nice infotainment screen. But like I said, just plug in your phone, use Apple CarPlay, and you're all good to go. Now, the steering wheel feels really nice. It's similar to the one you get in the Swift, but it has some extra nice touches, like the silver bit on the lower spoke. You have the cruise control buttons. You also have some shift paddles, which feel really good. Like, the pressing feeling is quite satisfying, but I doubt most people will ever use these because this is not a performance car. You just drive it in a normal way. Now, it has analog dials, which the design on them is quite nice. There's some interesting shapes and textures inside to help them stand out. They're in silver, and yeah, they're quite nice. There's also a bunch of buttons on the right side. For one, you have the engine start stop button. Now, you have a button for the heads up display, and you also have a button for the camera system, the 360-degree camera system. There's also a button for the hill descent control, which is quite nice. You get hill descent control. There's a drive mode selector down here, which is a scroller wheel thingy. Now, you have a snow mode and a sport mode, which is yeah, quite interesting. We don't get snow out here, but if ever you are in some tricky conditions, you can use that. There's also a button for locking the differential, which is, yeah, like I said, it's a bit of an off-roader. Now, overall, there are some nice swoops and curves and layers to the dashboard. There's a nice silver trim here, and yeah, they've made it look nice. There's also a nice leather touch on the dashboard front fascia. Now, also, these seats are very nice and comfortable, full leather, and I think they are ventilated. I'm not sure, but don't hold me on that. Now, this being the GLX also gets the extra speakers, so the sound system sounds really good. Let's actually check out the space in the back. So, the back seat. Now, sitting back here, I immediately noticed that I wouldn't say the room back here is plentiful, especially for people who are very tall. Now, I'm not a tall person by any means, but for anyone who's like 6 foot, the room will be very tight, especially like the headroom. But it's quite decent. Also, there is a decent amount of space down here for your feet to stretch. And also, I've noticed that the transmission tunnel is actually quite small, so it's easy to just cross over to the other side for someone who's sitting in the middle, so as to say. It will feel, yeah, slightly more comfortable. Now, the leather also extends in the back. It feels really nice. Now, Suzuki makes some of the most comfortable seats I've ever felt in any car, really. They're always very supportive, and they feel very well cushioned and stuff. Now, in the GLX, you get an extra 2 USB ports back here, and there's also a climate control vent, and that's your lot. Let's actually check out the boot space. So the boot space, now you're looking at 373 liters of boot capacity. Now, for some perspective, something like a Golf has about 380 liters. Mercedes A-Class has about 370 liters. So not any bigger than, say, a hot hatch. But the aperture is actually really nice. Like, it's really squared off. And check out this, 0 loading lip, like literally none. So it's very easy to lift stuff in and out or slide them in and out. That's very handy. There's also an underfloor where you find a spare wheel, which is, yeah, very nice. A bit of a faff to work with that. There's these 2 pockets also on either side, which are really nice. There's also a light for when it's dark, so you can see your stuff back here. Other than that, nothing any more interesting. So, trim levels. Now you have three trim levels. You have the base trim, which is the GL, which starts from this price. You have the GLX, which starts from this price. And then you have this car, which is the GLX Hybrid All Grip, which starts from this price. Now, amongst these trim levels, you can choose between a manual or automatic transmission, but this hybrid only comes in auto. Now, let's chat more about the technicalities. Okay, so things get a bit interesting here. Now, the available engine is a 1.5 litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. Now, it makes about 77 kilowatts, which is around 105 horsepower and 138 newton meters of torque. Now, in the GL and GLX, you can choose between a 5-speed manual and a 4-speed automatic. Now, I can't imagine the 4-speed would be good for fuel consumption, or for fuel efficiency rather, because I can imagine doing 120 kilometers an hour revving at about 4,000 RPM. Now, I've never experienced it, but that's just my guess. Now, in this car, which is the hybrid, it only comes with a 6-speed auto. Now, it also retains the 1.5 litre naturally aspirated motor, but obviously mated to some electrical assistance. Now, in the hybrid, it makes 76 kilowatts and 136 newton meters. Now, you might be thinking that's less power and torque compared to the GL and GLX, and you're right. And reason behind that is the hybridization on this is optimized for fuel efficiency, not for performance. So I guess that's why you get less power. Now, the hybrid also comes with an all-wheel drive system. Now, that you can only get on the hybrid. So it's a bit of an off-roader, like I've been saying throughout the video. And the ground clearance on all of the cars is about 210 millimeters. So you can take them off-roading, or you can drive them through some tricky situations. Now, let's actually experience how this car drives. So guys, you join me inside the new Suzuki Grand Vitara. So to get the info stuff out of the way, this car comes with a 5-year 200,000 kilometer warranty and a 6-year 90,000 kilometer service plan. So that's all the info bit that you need to know. Now, driving experience. Now, in terms of ride comfort, this is really good. Now, you can get really comfortable and cozy. Visibility is really good. All the mirrors, literally the rear view mirror, the side mirrors are nice and big. You have a great view of what's going on behind you. And also the driving position is quite nice. Like, it's not intimidating at all. It's easily approachable. All that stuff, it does really well. Now, the interesting bit is obviously the engine setup. Now, for normal day-to-day use, the engine is good. I mean, pretty much every modern car, the engine works fine for using on the road, for traveling. It's fine. You can get up to speed. You can easily do 120 kilometers an hour, 140. That's all too easy. But a bit of a drawback is that the motor itself being naturally aspirated, and the amount of power and torque you get out of it, it causes the car to have to work too much in order to get going, especially with the torque. Now, 138 newton meters, well, 136 in this hybrid, is really quite little for a car of this nature, an SUV, so as to say. At least if it was about 200 newton meters, it also revs quite a lot, as you can hear right now, because I'm driving through an uphill and I'm having to extract a lot of the power. So, long story short, the engine needs to work hard to get the car going, but for normal day-to-day use, it works just fine. Now, if I'm putting in my 2 cents, if I'm putting in my 2 cents, I would say the best of the bunch is the lower GLX, so the non-hybrid GLX. Get it with the manual transmission, because I'm not really sure how well the auto works being a 4-speed. Like I said, I really doubt it'll be an efficient engine having so little gears, because I can imagine doing 120 kilometers an hour, the engine will be revving a lot at around 4,000 RPM, which is what we're doing right now actually, but I think we still have an extra gear to go. But yeah, so I'd rather recommend the manual. If the GLX is still out of your budget, even the normal GL is still pretty good, because that still comes with a lot of equipment. Your keyless access, your keyless go. Yes, the screen might be 7 inches, but you still get the Apple CarPlays and stuff, and everything else is pretty much the same. But otherwise, this is a really great car. Like the amount of equipment you get on offer, like this is literally the price of something like a Polo, and it's a much bigger car. Obviously this is an SUV, so yeah, I quite like the driving experience on this. And yeah, that's pretty much my 2 cents, and I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time,